Have you ever worked a job where things just didn't add up? Where the quiet moments were the loudest, and the shadows seemed to have a life of their own? I have. For years, I worked the night shift at a forgotten little motel off Highway 19. My shift was from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., the dead hours, where the only sounds were the buzzing neon sign and the hum of the ancient vending machines. It was the kind of place people came to disappear. Our motel had 16 rooms, but we only rented out 15. Room 14 was off limits, permanently. See, 3 years before I started, a guest died in there. Traveling salesman, checked in late, paid with cash, seemed perfectly normal. The next morning, the cleaning staff found him just sitting. He was in the armchair by the window, staring out, eyes wide open. The coroner called it a sudden cardiac event, but no one who saw him believed that. There was a look on his face, a look of pure, frozen terror. After the official investigation wrapped up, management decided to give the room a fresh coat of paint and put it back in rotation. That lasted all of 2 days. The first person to stay there was a young woman on a cross-country road trip. She called me around 3 a.m., frantic, whispering that someone was knocking on her door, over and over. I checked the security camera for her hallway. Nothing. Just an empty, flickering corridor. She didn't sleep another wink and was gone before the sun was even up, looking pale and refusing a refund. That was it. Room 14 was locked for good. Or so we thought. Fast forward about 6 months. A massive thunderstorm was tearing through, the kind that rattles the windows and makes you feel completely isolated. Just after midnight, the front door creaked open and a man stumbled in, soaked to the bone. He looked exhausted, like he'd been on the road for days. He introduced himself as Walter Griggs, paid in cash, and then he asked for something strange. He wanted the room at the far end. I told him room 14 wasn't available, that it was out of order. He just smiled, a calm, distant sort of smile, and said, "I've stayed here before." There was something in his voice that made me stop arguing. I gave him the key. About 2 hours later, I was watching the security monitors, half asleep, when I saw the door to room 14 open. Walter stepped out into the hallway. But instead of walking toward the lobby and the exit, he turned and walked the other way, toward the dead-end utility closet. He walked right up to it, and then he just vanished from the frame. I thought the camera feed had frozen. I toggled the inputs, checked the live view. The hallway was completely empty. A cold feeling washed over me. I grabbed the master key and went down to check on the room. The door was ajar. The lights were on, but Walter Griggs was gone. The room was pristine. The bed was perfectly made, not a single wrinkle. It was like no one had ever been in there, except for one thing. Sitting on the nightstand right next to the key I had just given him was an old, faded motel receipt. It was dated from 3 years prior. The name printed on it was Walter Griggs, and the signature, it was identical. It was the receipt from the night the salesman had died. Management boarded up room 14 for good after that. They tore out the handle, bolted the door shut, but the story doesn't end there. On stormy nights, when the power flickers and the old wiring groans, the light in that room still turns on by itself. And if you're watching the grainy black and white security monitor at just the right moment, you can sometimes make out a dark figure, faint shape, sitting in the chair by the window, patiently waiting for the next guest to check in. Thanks for listening to my story. If you have a chilling tale of your own, share it in the comments below. And do want to forget to like this video and subscribe for more strange tales from the quiet corners of the world. Stay safe out there.